Thank you. Um, Hello all, Assalamualaikum. We have Jason Gillespie with us, head coach of Hyderabad Kingsman. First question, please. Do we have a mic?
Jason, that was a good PSL for Hyderabad the first time. But in the final, we have seen many times Captain Manas Labushan was approaching to umpires, especially that run out. What was the argument behind that, and how you feel about today's umpiring?
So, which run out you're referring to?
That run out, because Manas Labushan was going to fourth umpire and arguing.
Yeah,
for...
look, I haven't spoken to Manas about that because the game just finished and I've come up here, so I don't know exactly what the context of that was, unfortunately. So
even in the match, Manas was with discussion with the umpire.
I think he just had a few discussions with the umpire. I mean, he's just a very passionate player and just asking questions. But look, no malice in it at all. Manas is just a very passionate person and was just asking the umpire questions. And, whatever the umpire says goes, and he accepts it. But yeah, he just animated, he's just passionate. But yeah, absolutely no malice involved.
So as a coach, you are satisfied about today's umpiring, that it was okay?
I'm comfortable with how Manas approached that. Look, but as I said, I'd have to speak to him. Haven't had a chance to speak to him since we came off the field. He addressed the players quickly and told them how proud he was of them throughout the campaign. But yeah, I'll talk to him at a later time.
And what about your team batting today? They were losing wickets and even was not able to complete 20 overs.
Yeah. Look, we had a decent power play. We started pretty well, and then just lost that little period where a couple of overs we lost 4 for 2, I think, and that just took the wind out of our sails, and it was hard to get back into the game after losing those wickets in quick succession. So that was disappointing, but overall we just didn't give our bowlers enough runs to defend, and full credit to Peshawar. They outplayed us tonight, and they're deserving champions.
Jason, what do you think, what do you put the turnaround down to? You started off quite poorly with 4 defeats, and then you came into this final almost the form team, the momentum side. We haven't seen any side lose the first 4 and then go on to make the final. What happened after those first 4 games that enabled you to turn things around so sharply?
Yeah, look, our first few games, we had 1 really good batting effort and 3 not so good ones. We knew we'd click at some point, and unfortunately, the results didn't go our way early in the tournament. We were playing some good patches of cricket, but we weren't putting complete games together. We'd either bowl quite well and bat poorly, or we'd bat well and then not back that up in the field. So we just weren't playing complete games, and I think we knew that if we stuck to our process, boys were training well, preparing well, the strategies were all sound. And yeah, once we got a win, and then that started to just build a bit of confidence around the group, and lads were really clear on what their roles were in the team, and we trusted the players to step up and do their job when it was required, and we kept it as simple as that. We kept the vibe around the dressing room really positive. Our mantra was being calm, being clear, and just execute our skills. So, we kept it as simple as that. And look, the boys, I'm incredibly proud of the players and what they've achieved. We were written off very early in the piece, and they stuck to the task and stuck to their work. Manas has grown as a leader throughout the tournament. Some challenging times early. His messaging was really clear, and throughout the tournament, his backing and support of the players was really strong. So, look, I say I can't be prouder of Manas. I can't be prouder of the playing group. They've been fantastic. Tonight wasn't our night, and full credit to Peshawar. They deserve champions. They had a wonderful campaign, didn't they? So they deserve to win. We'll learn the lessons as quick as we can, and hopefully we can come back stronger next time.
Just one more on, you mentioned Manas. I think he hadn't ever captained a T20 game before he was appointed T20 captain here. Just if you could tell us what the thinking behind that was and how, as you said, he's grown as a leader. It felt like the PSL meant a lot more to him as it came on. We saw the visuals after the Eliminator. Could you just sort of sum up how he's been with the group and why it's carried such great meaning for him and the team?
Yeah, I just felt he would, one, lead by example, and two, he's a very good communicator. And just felt that he was probably the best man for the job. We originally started him batting in 3-4, just depending on the right and left-hand combinations, but we made that pivot a few games in and decided to put him up the top and open to just give him that little bit of freedom. And what I mean by him growing as a leader, he just got more and more confident in his communication with the players and getting up and talking to the players in a group. I think early in the tournament he was a little bit hesitant, and the head coach and the coaches would do more of that leading discussions. But as the tournament went on, Manas was more confident, more comfortable, and his messaging, I thought it was outstanding, and the players really responded to him. I think they loved playing. They've loved this tournament, playing under him as a leader, and it'll only be good for him going forward and any leadership ambitions he has. Going forward, I think this has been a great learning curve for him. Been a great learning curve for us all, really, all the players and the coaches. A lot of lessons to take out of the tournament. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. Take our hat off to the PCB and for putting on such a great spectacle, and we've all really enjoyed it.
Yes, Izaz.
Jason Mohammed Izaz from Park Passion. Just wanted to know what were the conversations after the first innings, because you guys lost a cluster of wickets after the power play, and then a score which was looking like a good 180 to 190 or maybe 200. You guys were restricted to 130. So what were the conversations? And it does feel like that the conversations that took place were somehow, taken up by the bowlers as they restricted the Zalmi top order 4 wickets in the power play. So.
Yeah. No, look, the conversations we had was pretty simple. We knew we underachieved with the bat, but the big word we kept using was we got to believe, and we've been in this tournament, we've found ourselves in tricky situations and found ways out of it. Was there one more twist? Unfortunately, that didn't happen tonight, but the lads all went out there believing that if we could get a couple of wickets early, we're a chance, and we managed to do that. But Aaron Hardy and Samad were superb, and we threw everything at them, and they stood up and got their team home, and full credit to them. They were too good for us tonight. But I'm proud of our boys because they gave it their absolute 100% and gave it everything. We knew we had to go back and bring our main bowlers back early because we just didn't have enough runs on the board. So we had to take that gamble, and Peshawar batters were equally up to the task, and so they deserved to win the game.
Yeah, Essen.
Hi, Jason. Apologies if this has been asked before, but just wanted to ask you a few things. Number one, about the batting. We saw that today, I'm not going to be asking specifically about today, the collapse in the middle order, but we have seen that Kingsman batsmen or a batting unit as together has not clicked. It has been based on, the batting has been based on individual performances. So, what was the reason because of which for the last 12, 13 matches, you guys have not been able to click as a batting unit? Secondly, I wanted to ask about the fast bowlers. When this squad was put together, your fast bowling unit seemed light on experience, but it has proven to be the best fast bowling unit of this season. So can you tell us about that, how that transformation happened?
Yeah, so I'll start off your first part about the batting unit. I would argue that between overs 7 and 14, we were one of the better teams in the competition. The statistics actually show that. So our middle overs batting, particularly the second half of the middle overs, probably between 10 and 14, we were one of the leading teams in the competition. So I'm not quite sure where you think we did click as a batting unit. What we did show at times was a bit of inconsistency with our batting, but one or two players invariably stood up. But when that didn't happen, we had stinkers, and we had a few low scores. But I think as the tournament went on, the lads grew and understood what their roles were. I'm not sure if our batting order was the same, exact same each and every game. We had a real focus of our top five. We were going left and right-handers, particularly if opposition had spinners, it was spinning them both ways. So we had the guys, if, for instance, if Maz got out, then Simon would come in 3, but if Marnus got out, then Usman would go in, just to keep that left-right combination going. So that was the strategy there with our batting. We were really comfortable with that. The players were really on board with that. But yeah, we just, at times we probably just needed a few more contributors at times, but as I said, everyone played an important role. Everyone made a significant contribution. All our batters at some point in the tournament made a significant contribution, so at least once. So I'm really pleased about that. Our fast bowling unit, again, we made some adjustments partway through the tournament. Particularly when obviously Glenn Maxwell arrived, we had to tweak out because you can only play a certain number of overseas players, and so our conversations were always, how do we structure up with these players in these positions? And Mo Ali and Hunain Shah we got them in, and they were bowling very well. We pivoted between the third seamer a little bit, between Akif and Asif, and that was conditions based. We tended to, if the faster bouncier wickets, we'd bowl Akif, but if it was a little bit lower and slower, like it was in Karachi a little bit, we'd go with Asif, and he gave us a little bit more depth with the batting as well. So, but overall, it shows how well these guys bowled, and we're keeping Riley Meredith was kept out of the team, who's a very fine international T20 bowler. That just goes to show how effective our local seamers were, and I can't speak highly enough of them. When we had the draft or the auction, we were very keen to secure those guys, and we managed to get them, which was great. They were high on our list, and they delivered as I expected them to. I think they're fine bowlers and did a wonderful job. They each contributed in their own way and in certain times. And T20 is the nature of the game. You can miss sometimes and have a not so good day with the ball and with the bat. That's the nature of the game. But over the course of the season, things tend to even out. And I think our bowlers, I thought, were absolutely brilliant.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.